Yo, what is up, YouTube? If you've been watching my channel, you know I've been working on this Hyundai Sonata. I had to remove the evap canister because there was an engine light, and along with that, I needed to replace some fuel lines. Here's the old fuel lines. Today's video, I just wanted to do a quick one about how to use a fuel line disconnect tool. It's this little neat tool here, and this one here. You could use either or, and the size is variable, but I have a few fuel lines here that we're gonna do it to, and I got these fuel lines out of a junkyard because a couple of these broke on the fuel tank and on the car. I wanted to show you guys how that works. The fuel line disconnect tool, it's not easy to fit into some places, and it doesn't always work on the vehicle. So watching this video, if you think, hey, I'm gonna be able to grab that and just do it really quick and easy, doesn't always work like that. The tool is simple, but it's just not always easy to do, especially when you're working with rusty lines like this one. So pretty much this video is going to be me showing you how I can use the tool off the car and how I use the tool in general, and showing you a couple different ways of these fuel lines and how they work. This was one in particular that I broke right here. This one was above, I was actually in the vehicle, you were in the car. This was through the trunk I got to this one, and the clip was just so brittle that as I was pulling it apart, it just broke off. So I was gonna buy new ones and replace them on the plastic hose, but instead at the junkyard I was able to just get one off. I cut the side of the line, and this side came off pretty easy because it was plastic and it wasn't rusty. So with the new fuel lines, it won't be an issue because everything's so clean. But with this one, it broke because the old fuel line was I believe that was this one right here. You could see how rotted this line was, and the plastic was all beaten up. It looked like this on the inside. I'll show you guys how rotted this is in there. That makes it a little more difficult for these quick clips to come off. We made all the new fuel lines, and I need a few of these green clips, so I'm going to show you guys how I take these apart. And there's one more example I have here. This is a plastic one, and the plastic line is cut here. This was actually this line on the fuel tank. I grabbed it just in case I needed it. I don't need it, but I'm gonna show you guys how this works. I had to put a screw in there to thread into the plastic line so I could get some grab on it. I'm gonna show you how I get this one out. For this example, you know, there's different sizes, and you know, you could see, like, you can noticeably see the difference, and this yellow one might have worked, I'm not sure, but for this job I was using this blue one. And if you have a tool like this will also work. I just was deciding to use this blue one. So essentially what happens here is you'll slide this piece, imagine this was a whole line, fuel line or push disconnect line. They use them for a few different things, but majority of the time it's fuel. So this would slide over the line, and then you would kind of just seat this in that green clip like that. So you can see this fits inside the green, and you would go ahead and just pop it in there. I don't know if you could see, but this little green clip kind of opened up when I pushed this in. All this does was space that out. So you get that pushed in as tight as it can, and then what happens is, let me try and get you a shot here. You saw it just push it back out, but it opens up these green clips like this, and the little seat there is then able to pass the green. So I'll push that on, and it's not perfect. That's why I said it's not so easy to do this on a vehicle. It is doable. I've done it in the past, but you get that opened up just like so, and just kind of work this back. I'll see if I could do it for you. Oh, just like that. These green clips, and I'll put the blue tool back in there. These green clips are seated on this. So what this blue tool does is it pushes down and opens those green clips past this little seat, and then you're able to pull this out. So another just shot of this real quick, kind of just push it in there and it opens it up. I don't know if you can see the plastic opening as I push it in, but yeah, this goes in, and oop, and then when you're putting the new lines back in, it would just be like this, and you heard it clip. So we'll go do that again one more time, and it's not perfect. I tell you, it's not the easiest thing to do, but I kind of just put it in with one hand. And again, if you're on the car, you're obviously not able to do it as easy as this, but I won't cut the video at all, and you can see. And then once you got that pushed in there, you kind of just give it a nice tug. Now, a a couple of times this has happened where I get it past the green clip there, and what I'll do is I'll pull this blue tool out. It makes it a lot easier with the tool out, and then you could slide it right out. As long as this seat can get under those green clips, you see, you'll be good. The tool makes it so much easier. And I'll try it with this metal one. So this is the same thing. It opens up, goes around it. You'd slide this in, and when that's in there, this one might be too big actually. Oh, it looks like it's clear. Oh, ow, wow. I'm changing what I was saying. This metal one's a lot easier because you can squeeze the line with it, and then you could just grab it out with that. So it slides in. You could, oh, not that time. Make sure this is in past the clips, and then you kind of squeeze the line if you're able to. The first time it worked perfectly. There we go. And it just pulls it right out. Easy. So I'm gonna do the same example but with a rusted line because that's a lot more difficult. So while I have the fuel tank down, there's one of these that I needed to replace on the fuel tank that's in a hard spot to replace if it's on the car. And we got one of these from the Junkyard. This is probably one of the easier clips to disconnect. You really don't need the special tool to do it. You can use like a little screwdriver, and it really is pretty self-explanatory. And I'll show you guys with the, I've already put it on the one we're gonna use on the fuel tank, but here it is. You get a better look. This is the one I was on the fuel tank when I broke it, removing the evap canister because this car was rotten and none of the clips were easily coming off. So I cut one off at the Junkyard, and it's pretty basic. You would pull this fuel line, or this little orange clip, back a little bit. So this one's already pulled back, but I'll show you guys. You'd clip it like that, and what happens is this fuel line won't come out. You can see it's pretty tight in there, and I am pulling pretty tight there. So what I do is give it a little push, then you get a little screwdriver, and if you could do this on the car, it'd be ideal, but it's not always that simple. So you make sure that you get that little gap there, pull this clip back, and then you see these yellow tabs here. You would squeeze those yellow tabs, and this line should come out. Okay, this one already came out pretty easily, guys, I will say, because I've had it out once. That's because like I did this swap already. But on this plastic side, and that was this one, I believe, the one I just showed you, this was a plastic side and there was zero rust and it came right off the fuel tank. Super easy. I'm not gonna remove it because these are brittle and I don't wanna break it. I think I did video me putting it on the car, I just wasn't talking, so I'll show you guys a quick clip of that. All right, so now that we got this clip addressed, or this evap hose fuel line clip thing addressed, I would like to show you guys another line that I took, and that would be this one here. And I have the clip of me removing this from the car on a video. I'll drop that right now. If I can't get it with this, oh, guess I could get it with that. Yeah. Easy peasy. But with this, it was a little bit easier than the other lines also because this is a plastic line made and there's zero rust on here, so it's very clean and it came right out with the fuel line tool. But at the Junkyard I didn't have those, so I just cut it. You know, you can see I cut it right here and I cut it right here, and I'll show you guys when I remove this for you. I'll show you when I remove this what this line looks like. But you know, you'd have this tool, or you can see I've got the whole set here, or this metal tool. You could use either or. I like the metal tool a little bit more. It's a little bit easier to use. And how this works is you would take this and put it on the line, and I'll show you guys with the actual line, but you get it in there, push it as deep as it can. It'll open up these tabs that are inside of here. Kind of put a little pressure here and squeeze and kind of just work the line out. I missed that time. Okay, very easy, comes right out. And that's how this fuel line disconnect tool would work. This is what it looks like right here. If you could see, this line is inside of here. So this came out really easy because there was no rust. I had to screw this in here, so I had something to yank on, but you can hear it, listen to it clip. Very simple, and I'll show you guys with the plastic tool as well. This would push right on the, I put it on backwards again. So this is how this works. You would push this right on the line like that. You'd feed it in there until it's as deep as it can go. Put a little pressure on it, squeeze it, and kind of just twist out. That time I didn't make it. Try it again. Oh, yeah, of course, this one's a little tougher because it's harder to squeeze the blue clip than it is to... Got it. This tool's a little bit more tough, is what I was saying. I like the metal tool, but this one will work if you need it to. So, one more time. Line goes in. You hear it click. Push this in as deep as you can. Give it a nice squeeze. You don't have to squeeze it. If you can just pull it like that. I like to squeeze it so this stays downward in place. But that's how this works. So it won't always be as easy as that. Sometimes you'll have to deal with lines like this one that are completely rotten. Or let me show you another example really quickly. These were actually the lines on the Sonata right here, and I could not get these to disconnect. Sorry about that. Let me try and get a better shot. This and this, and I could not get those to disconnect as easy. So I ended up using a screwdriver to pry the clip back like this, and I broke it. And later on I removed it from the plastic hose, but I didn't like that either. So it was nice that I was able to get these out of the junkyard. I didn't have to buy new ones, which you could buy new ones. But I will show you what it looks like on a line. Let me see if I can find another line. I have a couple examples. And these two are completely rotten. These are the two that are just like on the Sonata when I tried to remove them. Not really easy to do. And you can see this one's even frozen in place. This one moves a little bit, but it's still super tight. But then you have this one, it's much cleaner line, a little bit of rust. And this one, I bet will come out. So this is a better example if you ask me, because it's actually a metal fuel line. And I'll show you guys if I can get it. Take your tool, slide it in there nice and deep. That's what she said. And you'll grab it. And like I said, I like to put a little pressure here, but since this is a longer line, and a lot of times these are mounted, they're stationary, it's a little harder when you have to do all the pulling with both hands. But put that on there, squeeze it, and this one came right out. Super easy. That's how it should work. That is exactly how it should work. But it's not always as easy as that, because you get these dirty rusted lines that are frozen in there, and the rust kind of fills out any of the space that the clip would allow it to move, and it just doesn't come. So you heard it click in, and I'm going to use this tool also. So what you would do is just put it there, and it's tapered so it clips right on. Clip. Go ahead, shove it in as deep as you can. It opens up the clips, and we'll see if we can get this one also. Oh yeah, this one came out like butter. And this one came out easier than the plastic line, just because, like I said, I had more room to hold on to this and pull. But it works really well when it's clean. But I'll go ahead and put this back in there. Boom, clipped. When you have rusty lines like these two, or the lines on the car, you really end up having to break them and replace them. And that's why I got these spare lines in the first place. But this one has given me a ton of trouble. I can't seem to get this line free, and I can get it in there. That's about as deep as it'll go right there, and I can rotate it, but it just doesn't want to come out. And I don't have much room to pull on it, but I just cannot get it out of the plastic. And I know that the tool is opening the clips. I know that the tool is working. It's just nearly impossible to get these out when they're so rusted like that. So what we're gonna do is toss this in the vise, and I'll see if I can get this rusted line out for you guys on the video. If not, I'll probably just throw these in the fire and burn them. No, seriously though, if I can't get these out, there's no point in using them, and this one's even worse than that one. So let's throw these in the vise and see if we can get this out. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in here. I don't want to break it, but I will give it a little bit of pressure. And we're in there. Yeah, this line is gonna be impossible to get out. I'm gonna grab some pliers and see if we can get it. So if you were gonna do this on the car, it would almost be impossible, because you could see just how tight this really is, and it's coming out of the vise again. I don't even know if it's moved at all. It really hasn't. It just does not want to come out. So pretty much, guys, if you have a rusted line like this, it's just not going to work. My suggestion is to blow it up with a stick of dynamite, because it can be incredibly frustrating, like this one is. See, what's happening is the line is just so rusted in there to the plastic, it just is almost impossible to get out. But we're gonna try one more time. Try and grab it this way. Oh, okay, so it's moving. We might have gotten it. Keep trying. I won't give up. I think we can go ahead and remove these now, because it's past the retention clip. It's actually yanking the whole thing out, but we're almost out now. Oh my goodness. So there we go. That's awesome. We did pull this out. I hope we didn't damage it. I could stuff it back in there. Be careful. There we go. There we go. This clip is still usable. I would definitely still use this one. But yeah, here you can see how rusted that is. It's not even that bad, but this little bit of rust just made it so tight in there that it just really wouldn't come out. And just to show you guys that this clip is still okay, I'm gonna grab a cleaner fuel line. I'm gonna grab that one that came out really nice, and I'm gonna put it in there and see if it works. So let's check it out. See how nice and easy that was? I'll do that one more time just to show how quick and easy it could be. If you're in southern states where there's lack of rust, this would work great for you. But in these northern states where we have to deal with rust all the time, and look, this is dry. There's no penetrant on there, no lubrication. Oh, it's tight in there. Holy smokes. Yeah, I probably wouldn't reuse this one, because I'm having a hard time getting it back in this fitting here. Okay, there we go. It went back in. Maybe we'll be able to do this one off the vise. And like I said, this was the cleaner line. Just wanted to show you that this clip may still be workable. Go ahead and get this set up the way I'd like. Okay, I got it in there, opened up. Oh my gosh, wow. I pulled so hard I almost knocked the camera over. Let's try that again. And I just want to show you, to be very clear, it's clipped in and it's seated. I cannot pull it like this. You see, it's holding. I am pulling as hard as I can right there. But once we use the tool, it comes right out. So the clip is definitely still usable. Even though it was rusted and really beat up, I'm not sure I would reuse this one because I have cleaner ones. This clip is definitely still reusable. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. That's how you use these fuel line disconnection tools. It's pretty easy if you have clean lines. If your lines are rusted, it's seriously a pain in the butt. It's really almost impossible to do on the vehicle if your lines are rusted. And I showed you guys off the car with rusted lines just how difficult it is. And with clean lines, it's butter, super easy to do. And if I had to pick between the two, I would pick these metal ones. They work really well. It's easy to get a good grip on the line. The plastic ones work too, I did show you that, and they're a little bit cheaper, I'd assume, but if I had to pick, I'd pick the metal ones. And just to show you guys one last time, this was the really rusted clip that I was having a hard time with, and here's the clean one that came right out in the video, and I'm gonna put it back in there. Let's listen for the clip. It's a very subtle clip, plastic's a little tired, but I'll show you guys. It holds very tight still. The clip is still good. My hands are really greasy, but this is still a good clip. It's very usable, okay? But I'll show you guys this. Put this in here. It grabbed, squeeze it, pull it, comes right out. Easy. And that was the really rusted clip. Let me show you guys what the good clip sounds like. You'll hear it click a little better. That's how it should sound, and I'll do it with this one too. It's a little tighter because it's in better shape. Slide it on, squeeze it a little bit, twist and pull. And that's how they should come out. If you're in the northern states like I am, the rust is a major problem with the cars. Pretty much 95% of the cars on the road are completely covered in rust. You're gonna run into some trouble with this. But if you're in the southern states, it's super easy. The lines are clean. The plastic disconnect tool, super easy to use. So thank you guys for watching. If you've watched this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm seriously trying to grow the channel to 10,000 subs by the end of the year 2024. My watch hours have been at an all-time high this past month, and everything's going really well. Make sure to give me a thumbs up because that helps extremely with the growth of the channel, and leave me a comment in the section below if you thought this video was helpful. Like I said, I'm not a how-to guy. I really don't do instructional videos, but I was doing the fuel lines on this Hyundai Sonata. I had to use the tool, and it clicked in my head that, hey, it could be helpful if people see a real application of the fuel line tool being used, and what better way to do it than show a couple rusty lines and show a couple clean lines. And like I said, I got all these lines out of the junkyard at Pull Apart. I cut them off with some side cutters, or anything I could to cut it. I had my saw there that day, but I think I used side cutters for all of them based off how they're squeezed. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be catching you guys later on. Peace out.